Hello everyone, this is Jesse Dye, software engineer of the pet-friendly software PetFriend. And today we're going to do your first time setup using our software. So if you're an admin of the software, you will receive the first time setup email. And it should look like something like this. It will say, "Welcome to PetFriend." And it says, "You have successfully created your organization with PetFriend. Log in with the following information," which includes your organization ID, which is going to be your short name for your organization, your username, and your password. And if you click on the link, you'll see where it prompts you for your organization ID. Enter that. You're going to go ahead and put in your username and then your password, and then click sign in. If at any time you forget your password, you can click reset password, enter in your organization ID and your username, and it'll send you a link to reset your password. So on the first time that you log in, you're going to see all the tabs at the top. Before we jump into this, we're just going to go into your admin portion over here. As an administrator of your organization, you need to create your user accounts, manage your user groups, set up your adoption contracts, your foster contracts, your rescue contracts. We provide you default contracts. However, if you want to change the wordage on these, you will need to edit them here. So if I wanted to set up a new user, I would click on user accounts. Then from here I would click new. And then from the username, I could enter in a new user, and then you could set them up with a temporary password. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, you're going to need to change your password also. So I'm going to go ahead and put this person as a manager. User has successfully been added. If you wait just a second, it'll go back to the main page and you'll see the user is currently created. At any time you need to remove a user, you can just click delete. Or if you need to change their password, or say a user forgot their password, you can change it for them. Say they're not getting the email or their email is no longer active, you can change it here also. As a admin, to change your password, you can go in here to support, click change password, and this is true for any user. So go ahead and click change password, and I'm gonna put in my current password, click update. Okay, it's successfully been updated. I'm gonna go ahead and log out and test it. Okay, so my password's been successfully changed. If I wanted to go back and manage user groups, as you see across the top, you're going to see all the different areas identified here going across the top. Depending on what you want your users to do, you might give them access to these areas. For example, if you want your volunteers to have access to tasks or animals, you can change that here. Or say if you wanted to give them calendar access, you could also enable it here by going to edit, flipping this over to yes, clicking update. And if you wait just a moment, it should take you back. Alright, and then from here you can see that volunteers now have access to the calendar. You can also update like users, officers, managers, and all of these are tied back to the user accounts screen where you do the drop down for the selection of what user group you want to associate somebody with. So if in this case test is a manager, we can actually go back and see what level of access they have. And a manager has access to everything except for the admin portion. So they can't update contracts or manage users. And in some organizations you might want that, or in this case you might actually want your managers to have the same privileges as an admin. And you can change that also there. First time setup best practices is good to go in and update your tax information. This is in a decimal format, so if you are a taxable organization, you could put your tax information here, such as your sales tax. Okay. And same thing with the number of kennels that you have. If you have, say, 50 kennels inside of your organization, you would want to update this number because this reflects on your main page. By default, we set it to 100. However, if you want an accurate portrayal of the number of kennels for your statistics, you want to update this. So you want to go down to administration, number of kennels, and we're going to change this to 50. Okay, so it's been updated. Now if I go back, you'll see that the max number is 50 on the home page. So if I go back to admin, also your organization information needs to be updated here. If you want to put the name of your organization, in this case I'm going to call this a test org. I'm going to use Columbus as an example, and I'm just putting in just a blank number. You want to put in your website. This information is important because later on there are forms that get printed that will include this information, and if this information is left blank, it will not print it out. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that info. Alright, so that organization information has been updated. Anytime you want to update your partners, say you have a shelter that's beside of you that uses this uses the PetFriend software, you can add them here also. You can give them read or write access, which is useful. Sometimes this is also useful for rescue organizations that might have certain types of animals or breeds that they might pull from your shelter. So if you want to set up a partner, they're going to need to have access or have their own organization already in PetFriend. And if they do, you can give them read access. To do so, you would just go in here, click New, and then you would enter in their organization ID or name, and then you would either select read or write access. You can manage your subscription in here. You can also do an import or export. We do provide you with a template. This is a one-time import. If you want to do an export also, you can also export data here. If you click on the template, you'll get a CSV file. It'll have all the columns across the top for you to do import. If you're coming from another software, you'll have to provide them this information so they can export the data for you. And then you can do the import. If you have any troubles with this, we do provide an import for you. However, this is at an additional cost. We also do pet finder imports for any animals that are eligible for adoption. For a first-time setup, you need to actually contact pet finder at help@petfinder.com, and you need to request an FTP account. What they'll do, you'll also need to request that all new records get deleted on import. That way you don't have old records lingering on your guys' page. From here, you'll also receive a username and password once they set up that FTP account. You'll put the username and password, and then you'll flip the import over to active and flip it over to yes. We also have an Adopt-a-Pet import. From here, you can put in your shelter ID. You'll also need to visit this link here, which basically allows you to set up your account to do imports. And then once you put your shelter ID in and then flip it over to active, you'll need to click yes and then click submit. And then from there, any new animals that are eligible for adoption will be part of an import overnight. We also do AKC microchip imports, part of our nightly data load. AKC will provide you with a PIN code. From here, you'll put your PIN code in, and then you'll flip your record over to Active Import. Click Submit. And any animals that are entered in through the microchipping portion will be automatically uploaded to AKC Reunite. So if you had this set to active, you would see microchips are listed underneath of the animals menu. If you do not see this, that means that your AKC microchip import is not active. As you can see, it's not listed, but once you flip it over to active and you have your PIN number in the software, you'll be able to enter in new microchips that will be imported to AKC overnight. And this kind of concludes our first time setup for the software. For users, you should have all of your users go to the support menu, go to training videos, and we break down each of these tabs one by one into about 5 to 10 minute videos depending on which one you're currently in. So if you want to see tasks, you can just click the details, and then from here you can start a video. And same with the rest of them. Alright, and this concludes our overview. Thank you so much for choosing PetFriend. We hope you have a great time. Bye.